Hi, today I want to discuss something called following your heart. What do I mean by that? My dad always tells me when I'm in a rough spot in life, when I don't know if a decision I'm going to make, which is a large decision, is the right one, when I'm asking a lot of people for advice and I'm getting a bunch of different answers, that what I should do is follow my heart. And I want to explain how I've interpreted that and used it in my own life to try to become successful. What I believe that means is that you have to listen to what you truly want to do. Because there are millions of people out there who are going to give you advice. There are millions of people who are going to tell you what you're doing wrong, or why you shouldn't change because this is what you're doing right, or how you need to completely get out of what you're doing because it's a terrible idea. And a lot of people feel compelled to listen to the advice of others. A lot of people on this very channel will ask me, should I work for this guy or should I start my own business? Should I go into this or should I go into that? And my answer is always the same. You should do this if you like this, and you should do that if you like that. I am not qualified to make this decision for you. The only person who's qualified to make this decision is you. There is only one person in this world who has to live with the misery of having wasted their life. There's only one person in this world who has to live with the misery of having made the wrong decision. There's only one person who has to deal with looking back on their life and going, man, wouldn't it have been a lot different? Oh, fuck off, I'm closed. If I had done that. And that's you. And because you're the only one who has to live with the consequences of your decisions when you make the wrong one, you're the only one who should actually be making them. Regardless of how intelligent, regardless of how experienced, regardless of how well-versed these other people giving you advice are, the final decision has to be on you. Because when you do something right because somebody else told you to, they'll go, oh, that's great, I'm glad it worked out. But when you do something terrible, when you wind up on the street, when you wind up miserable and cranky, or you are disabled because of the decision that somebody else talked you into, they're not going to help you out of it. Excuse me, I said, fuck you, I'm closed. They're not going to help you out of it. They're not going to be there to assist you. They're not going to say, oh, yeah, that sucks that you lost your car, man. Here's the keys to mine. They're just going to go, yeah, that sucks, sorry about that. And they're going to walk away. Whereas you are stuck miserable where you are. So you should not listen to other people just because they seem a little bit more experienced than you are. You should not listen to other people because they may be more intelligent than you. Because the only person who can tell you what you should do with your life is you. The only one who knows where your heart is headed is you. The only person who knows what direction you enjoy going in is you. Now, one of the things I believe is that you can't just follow your heart. You got to follow your heart and your brain. There has to be a little bit of balance here between the heart and the brain. We make decisions based on the heart, the brain, and other people. The brain tells us what is going to be profitable, whether this is a good idea. Should I sell this or should I not sell this? Will people be willing to buy this if I sell it? Will it cause me trouble if I sell it? The heart tells you what you're interested in. Am I going to wake up every single day smiling that I do this, even if I got to bed at 4 o'clock because I got home from work at 3? Do I truly enjoy this? Do I get a smile on my face? Am I motivated to continue working through heartache and misery and crappy circumstances just so I can do this? That's what the heart says. So those two have to be in tandem with one another in order for you to make a proper decision. And I'm going to give some examples of where my heart and my brain were in the right place, some where only my heart was in the right place, and I'll give you the outcomes. The first one I want to start with is computer repair, since I did include it in the title. What do I mean by is computer repair dead and follow your heart? Well, let me explain. There is a channel on the internet that is led by an intelligent, well-versed, experienced guy whose opinion I respect and whose channel I respect. It's Eli the Computer Guy. And somebody emailed me these links about a year or 2 years ago when I was just new opening the store and saying, like, look at what this guy thinks of computer repair. Don't you think he's right? Aren't you being an idiot by, getting further into this? And I looked at the videos and I tried to get an idea. What are you doing, crackhead? That's my cute one. Anyway, I hate New York sometimes. And I'm looking at these videos, and he makes a point. He says computer repair is dead. You're not going to make money off of Windows reinstalls and replacing power supplies and desktop computers and all that crap anymore. And if you believe that the computer repair business, or your computer repair business, is based on reinstalls, tune-ups, virus repairs, fixing desktops, you are very correct. Computer repair is dead. That is a shit business, and that's not where I am actually trying to make money. Again, if you have a Windows laptop, again, you can buy this for $300. Anybody can reinstall Windows. A 10-year-old can reinstall Windows. If you have a desktop and your power supply dies, You can buy a desktop for like $200 now in a store, in an actual fucking store, like $275, and buy a great desktop that does everything you need. You don't need to pay me to do it. So if that's your idea of computer repair, it is very dead. And I went through his channel a little more, and I got to one part of a video where it says, we referred all the Mac work somewhere else. And don't quote me on where. It was something like, we didn't work on Mac, so we gave it to them, and they sent us PC business. And I looked, and this channel is very much about making money, how to make money in the real world, and that's what he's in it for. I'm not insulting him for it. That's a good thing. You should want to make money. Making money means you're good at what you do. But your goal is to make money, and you're going to make money by turning away people with the most expensive machines. Like cheap fucks like me with $500 and $600 Lenovo's, that you'll take. But the people with the $2,700 Retina, you're not? Wow. Again, no, and I'm just thinking to myself in the back of my head, you're giving me advice on why this doesn't make money, but you're avoiding the things that make money. Like, there are studies out there that say people who buy Apple products, on average, spend more money for the same thing. Not just within the computer and the portable device realm, but I mean over their entire life, over all of their purchasing. People who like and use Apple products exclusively, on average, are willing to spend more money as a consumer than people who buy PCs. And you're tossing these people out the door. And my first thought is, okay, see that's why this is not making money for you. And again, the same thing with the difficulty of the repairs. It was also mentioned we didn't do DC power jacks. This is a great way to, in 25 minutes, convert $2 into $150. Again, great way to convert $2 into $150 in 25 minutes. And you're not doing that. And you're telling me that this is a dead business. Again, it is a dead business if you actually ignore all the business out there where there's money. Now, here's where my brain came in. My brain said, this is getting much more difficult. These devices used to be easy to work on. You used to replace an inverter board when the screen died, which my dad can do if 10 minutes of training. Then you had to replace a QFN package. Then in 2011, you had to replace a bulb array package when your backlight stopped working. So it's getting more and more difficult as time goes on. What more and more difficult means is that less and less people are going to invest to do it. Because my brain, over time and experience, has told me that even business owners, that a lot of small business owners are cheap fucktards that refuse to invest in infrastructure to support the changes in their business. And that was a very, very correct guess, by the way, since very few people are doing the work that we're doing here. Now, the other part of it was that these machines, which are worth more money, are gaining market share. That's something that I thought about 5 or 6 years ago. People don't like Windows Vista. Windows Vista took all those people that said, I don't want to pay for a Mac, I don't like the way they look, I don't like the way they act, and they ran to Apple stores begging in mercy for them to forgive them for anything that was a usable desktop experience. And they did it again with Windows 8, which again, there are lots of people who would have never fucking touched this brand of computer before that are now running to it because there's no usable alternative for them. And these machines cost a lot more money. Now, the thing about these machines is they're also difficult to find parts for. So I thought, gee, if I can manage to find parts that other companies can't find, that means that not only is there less competition, that means on certain repairs, there's no competition. One great example of this was when the MacBook Air screen first came out. I was the only place for like 3 to 6 months, seriously, 3 to 6 months, that had 13-inch MacBook Air screens in stock in the city. And I did take advantage of that. We were charging $3 to $325 to fix these machines. People had no place else to go. I had a stack of like 5 of 10 of these every other day that needed new screens. And again, this was good money. I was listening to my brain, but I also listened to my heart. My heart says that I enjoy tasks where I'm productive where somebody else was not. I enjoy helping people when those people would not be helped out by anybody else. Whether it's with audio gear, whether it's in my personal life, or whether it's in business and computer repair, I like helping people when other people would not have been able to help that same person. So my brain and my heart were working in tandem. And in a business that everybody says is failing, it's going downhill, that's going to shit, where computer repair shops in my very own neighborhood are failing and losing money and closing, I'm making 5 to 10% more each month than I was last month. Each month is going up by about 3 to 10%, depending on the month, since I opened this place. And again, I'm taking the staff to Disney World on December 5th, for about half a week. We're staying at the Port Orleans Hotel, we're going on rides, and I'm flying to Vegas next week for CTIA and staying in the Bellagio Hotel, and I'm going to be getting, again, life is good. And I don't feel one bit bad about it because I made the right decision. I made the decision based on my heart and my brain. I worked my ass off, and I got somewhere in an industry that, again, somebody else who is experienced, who is intelligent, and who is well versed in IT said failed. Now he's not an idiot. I'm not just lucky. I just happened to find a niche that worked for me, and I followed it. And the same has to be true for you. Now let's talk a little bit about when you follow only one at the expense of the other. Let's talk about Rossmann Supply. I don't really like talking about Rossmann Supply very much because it wasn't the best of experiences. I thought to myself, in my brain, wouldn't I make more money if I sold parts in addition to services? And also, wouldn't other companies want to buy from a technician instead of buying from all these companies or people who don't speak English, put crap up at the cheapest price and tell you to go fuck yourself when it doesn't work, which is what many were used to. It's hard to find this stuff. As I said, it's hard to find a lot of these parts. It's hard to find these trackpads where they always work. It's hard to find the keyboard for this machine where it's not used and pulled out of a nasty, dirty laptop. It's almost impossible to find the screen at anything resembling a good price. And what I wanted to do in my heart was help you guys. I enjoy helping people where they are not helped by others. I wanted to help the people who are like the people who are fans of this channel. I wanted to help the people that I had met in this business that I like talking to. And what my brain told me a decent way through when I decided to look at QuickBooks is that this doesn't work. It's that people really do only value cheapest price for the most part, that you are competing with companies that have fuck tons more money than you, and that this money that you're putting into this business could make you back 10 to 20 times more with your other business than in this. So imagine if you stopped tying it up in this horse crap. And I decided to close it. Now again, I'm not one of those people who's going to say, none of you should do this because it didn't work for me. Because I only offered services to PCs and didn't do the ones that actually made money, you shouldn't open a computer repair shop. I'm not going to say something like that. I'm not going to say you shouldn't sell parts just because my method of selling the best quality parts at the lowest prices and offering top tier service at these low prices, where I would spend 15 minutes on the phone with somebody explaining how to replace a backlight fuse when they're paying me, $2 over the cost of the part. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to say that model, that just because it didn't work for me, that doesn't work for you. If it works for you, great. But it didn't work for me. So I decided to stop doing it. I wasn't going to keep digging myself into a hole, listening to all these people's other advice on what I could do to improve my business, or all these people's advice on how amazing their parts companies are going, when mine is not working. One of the key important pieces to following your brain and following your heart is being honest with yourself. When something's not working, when your brain says, hey, look at QuickBooks, you asshole. When your heart says, I don't really like this anymore, you gotta listen, and you gotta make decisions based on what you heard. I followed my heart a lot even before the whole laptop thing. When I was around 17 or 18 years old, started working at Avatar Studios as an intern, unpaid intern, 40 to 60 hours a week for $0 for several months, for the opportunity, not the guarantee, but the opportunity to be selected for a full-time minimum wage job as a junior technician. And a lot of people said, you're nuts. My dad would look at me getting home at 1 and 2 and 4 in the morning when the X1 bus was late, and would just think to himself and wonder to me, well, what are you doing? Why are you doing this to yourself? But my brain and my heart were working in tandem. My brain said, I want to learn how to do this because there are a few people that know how to do this, and I think I can make money at it if I get really good. And my heart said that I really enjoy doing this. I really, working in a recording studio on old consoles, old equalizers, all that crap, and watching bands record that would have been just twiddling their dicks in the lobby doing nothing and going home because the gear doesn't work, that is an amazing feeling to me, and I love it. So both were working in tandem with one another, and when I was 18 years old, I was probably one of the youngest people that ever got hired for a job at Avatar Studios. I mean, there are people here that are 25 and 26 and 27 that are starting their internships, and here I am, 18 years old, getting paychecks with my name on it that said Avatar Studios, and it was an amazing experience, and it was well worth it. The tech mentors that I had there, like Ricky Began, Gretchen Mathwich, Phil Lipscomb, Roy Hendrickson, these people taught me more in the couple of months a year that I spent there. They taught me more in those couple of months to a year that I spent there than most people will learn in real job training in real colleges over the course of their lifetime. These people had such a profound impact on my philosophy when it comes to how to approach a problem, when it comes to how to approach people, when the gear is beating you, when the people are complaining because the gear is beating you, and when it's 2 or 4 in the morning and you just want to get the fuck out of there and go home, that you still have to do a proper job. How to keep the mentality so that you're always doing a proper job. All of this was imbued in me at a very, very young age by those people, and I am very grateful for it. That was why I worked there. But after about 6 months to a year, I started to realize, while a lot of these people are very fucking talented compared to me and very, very smart, some of them, they don't seem like they're very 100% happy. And I don't want to be at a point where I've worked someplace for 5 or 10 or 15 years and I'm still not happy. So I did something else. I followed my heart again. And again, everybody else's advice, I said, I'm going to quit. And people are just looking at me like I'm an idiot. Like, you spent 3 to 6 months working for free for the opportunity to get a minimum wage job, and now you're leaving. What is wrong with you? And again, I had a reason for it. I wanted to always be around a positive work environment where people are legitimately, honestly happy. They may have their issues, they may have the crap that they go through, but at the end of the day, everybody's smiling. There's no, like, you walk into a room and you just kind of feel the tension around. I don't want to work in that environment. And the decisions that I made led to me starting a business. They led to me going here. They led to me being at a business that is filled with positivity all the time. And I appreciate that, and I enjoy that. And it's because I was okay with following my brain and my heart, and it was also because I was okay with being honest with myself. You need to be honest with yourself. You need to follow your brain, and you need to follow your heart. I'm going to give you advice. You can ask me questions, and I'm going to give you advice. But if that advice is not where your heart is destined to go, you need to just toss that advice in the garbage. Again, nobody has to live with your failure like you do. And if, personally speaking, well, I think Eli the computer guy is a smart, cool guy. I actually now watch his videos if they got emailed to me by that person. If I were working at some other crappy job right now, or I was unemployed, or pretty much going anywhere but Disney World for a 5-star vacation and going to Las Vegas next week for a 5-star vacation, where I don't have to worry about a thing, just because I followed his advice, I'd be pretty pissed off right now. Just saying. And again, I'm not saying that you got to do that one thing your entire life. Following your brain and following your heart, that's something that you have to do that's something you have to do over a lifetime. Don't get me wrong, I don't plan to be doing this little computer repair thing for the rest of my life. I don't know what the next thing is. I don't know when it's coming, but I do know, so long as I'm a person who continuously has ideas, so long as I'm always out there doing things and always meeting new people and always open to learning new things, that it's going to present itself to me, or it's just going to show up one day when I least expect it. Just like this business showed up to me when I least expected it. And I'll be there for it. You have to keep evolving and doing new things. You don't want to get left behind. Again, one of the reasons that I have that ultrasonic cleaner that this camcorder is sitting on is because I had an idea on doing liquid damage repairs so that I could go one step ahead. One of the reasons that I got this fucking machine that, very embarrassingly, I have not even at the time get to play with yet, is because I don't want to get left behind by people who are doing BGA rework faster than me because they're not doing the crap by hand. And the reason that I got this camcorder and this microscope that I spent a fair amount of money on, by the way, you may have noticed this video doesn't look as shitty as the other ones I did. That's because it's on a Sony NEX EA50 camcorder. It cost a lot more than that JVC Everio. One of the reasons is because as I was out there doing things, trying new things, following my brain and following my heart, I noticed that my YouTube channel was getting a very decent amount of attention, and I noticed that my YouTube channel was making me money. So I decided, against the advice of others who think that I'm fucking insane for spending this amount of money on free content that goes up without any ad revenue, AdSense, sponsors. I have none of that. And I'm spending money. I bought a microscope that has a 1080p camera, and I bought this camera so that I'll be able to make videos for it. Another great example of that is with this fucking camera. Again, you may have noticed that this video doesn't look like shit like the other videos I've done, or at least not as shitty. That's because it's being done on a fucking $4,000 camera. It's a Sony, let's see, I don't even know the model, and I spent this much money on it. That's embarrassing. Oh, and I don't even know where to find it on the camera. I think it's an NEX EA50. Yeah, NEX EA50. Again, expensive camera, because I want to be able to do the repair videos that I wasn't able to do before. And as I was following my brain and following my heart, I managed to find the next thing. By accident, which is YouTube. We make dumb amounts of money off of people that get referred here from this channel. And again, these videos that I'm going to be producing with this $4,000 camera and this $1,000 microscope setup with the 1080p camera built in, these videos are being put up for free. No AdSense, no ad revenue, no sponsors, no pay per view, no nothing. Because I'm following what makes me money, and I'm always looking to the next thing. And when something works, I think with my brain, this is bringing in revenue. Let's start doing videos that nobody else does to see if I could bring more people to the channel. And I follow my heart. I like helping people where other people are not willing to help them. And this makes sense. As long as you're following your brain and following your heart, you're going to come up with ideas that work for you. And they're going to be ideas that other people, again, they're going to think they're fucking retarded. You spent $5,000 on video equipment, almost $5,000 on video equipment. Well, by the way, I didn't buy this new, quoting retail price. I spent a good amount of money on video equipment to produce free content. And again, when you say it like that, it sounds dumb. But when you follow your brain and your heart, it really does get you places. And I do firmly believe that this is going to take me some places. And I'm always looking to the next thing. And you got to be looking at the next thing too. And you have to remain humble and honest with yourself. And you have to listen to your brain when something's not working. You have to listen to your heart when you're not truly into it. And you have to listen to your brain and your heart before you listen to the advice of other people.